really quick video about the magic of a Nikon camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, magic of a Nikon camera. Definitely as opposed to Canon. Sorry, Fujifilm. Of course, I've said this since day one. Love Fuji. I own tons of Fuji stuff, but Fuji does not have, doesn't even have super high ISO performance, nor does it even have moderately high ISO performance. We're talking like 12,800 and above. I have taken pictures and test samples in the past and showed you folks that I was taking a picture of something that I couldn't even see at 40,000 ISO. And it was really perfectly usable, and a little bit of noise reduction filtering would have even made it really usable. You see, when the output is so good that you can take pictures of crap you can't even see, which no photographer, I'm going to take a picture of that. What are you taking a picture of? Oh, that over there. What? I can't see it, but I'm going to take a picture of it. No photographer works that way. So the high ISO performance is amazing on the Nikon D5 and D500. Screw the Nikon D5, by the way. I hate the Nikon D5 for countless other reasons, as I've mentioned many, many times before. So the magic and wonder of the Nikon D500, for example, which I have a couple of. I've even got a third one that's filming me right now. It's a broken one that I fixed. The magic is that people don't talk about this sort of thing because they don't think. Is that I was using the old, kind of old, made in 2003, 300mm 2.8 AFS Nikkor, a very, very heavy lens, no vibration reduction. Yeah, you see, the fact that lens has no vibration reduction is not a problem. Now, I was not shooting in low light, but if it was like really dusky, you know, the sun was just about to set or had set, I could crank the piss out of the ISO, say up to 28,000. I'd probably have it around 28,000, and I'd be around 1/4000 or 1/8000th of a second at f2.8 on my shutter speed. And this is where we say, to hell with vibration reduction. It's not an issue. I could crank the ISO way the hell up there. I'm not worried about vibration. What this means is, let's just put this in layman's terms. When you can crank the piss out of the ISO, this means using really awesome older lenses that don't have... You see, I got by for a long time, and so do the rest of the shooters out there, without vibration reduction. You know, there were no pro photographers standing on the sidelines of sports action events going, you know, I'm so depressed. I have no vibration reduction in these lenses. No, nobody was saying that crap. Vibration reduction is wonderful, but the lack of having it thereof means some really awesome lenses like that 300mm 2.8, which is just, you know, it's still an expensive lens. It's worth about $1,800 in the condition mine's in. You can usually get it for $1,600, $1,700. It's not an issue today since I was shooting at bright light, but in crappy or low light conditions, I could crank the ISO up, which is, by the way, amplification, gain input, gain amplification, just like the gain knob on your radio. Not the volume knob, but the gain knob. I could crank the ISO up and not worry about vibration reduction because I'm still taking shots in low light at, say, 20,000 plus ISO at 4,000th or 8,000th of a second. Why does nobody talk about that fact? This is the one real advantage of high ISO. People are like, well, I need the most modern light. You see, what that means is instead of spending $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 on a new 300mm, which optically is the same. It's the same damn lens optically. It does have a little bit faster autofocus. Of course, that is a difference, obviously so. The AFS is not slow. It's still a silent wave motor. But instead of spending $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, if I have a camera with amazing ISO performance, that means I can crank the ISO up there, shoot at 4,000, 8,000th of a second, and I'm not worried about shake. Because the shutter is going... Here's the shutter moving. Did you see it? I'll show it to you again. Here's the shutter moving so fast. Do you see it? That fast. Do you make the connection there? So, there's the one true advantage of really high ISO performance. It means when it comes to non-VR awesome prime lenses that have decent autofocusing motors in them, like the AFS, you know, means I don't have to spend $8,000 on a lens. I can just have a high ISO performing camera. That AFS silent wave motor, which is that lens at 300mm 2.8 AFS, which is, you know, $16, $17, $800, $1,800, depending on where you get it from and the condition. So that's important. And nobody talks about this. And I just thought to myself today, you know, nobody talks about this fact. I think I'm going to make a video about that fact. So there we go. I made the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like these videos, you drop me a buck or two, because I'm sure as hell not making any money off of YouTube. And by any, I mean very little. Nowhere near as much as you think. And I get so swamped with emails. I'm like, sometimes I ask myself, you know, self, like, yes, self, you're kind of murdering yourself. It's just, some people, most of you actually just don't even realize how unending it is. It's like a 20. I keep getting calls and texts in the morning that wake me up. I need to turn my damn phone off too, by the way. People like texting me in the morning, like I'm asleep. It's like, don't you realize what time it is? It's like, I'm still sleeping. I stay up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Please don't call me early in the morning. Be kind. I don't text or call you people, when you're still sleeping. I don't do it. So be a little bit considerate and don't call me while I'm still sleeping. That would be very, very kind. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum.